Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Pull this Letterman's jacket up. So y'all know what time it is and shit. Good afternoon. It's about to be 12 in the afternoon on the East Coast. Probably like 10 and some change on the West. Y'all come in here, let's kick it for a little bit. I got an is hour for y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel and make sure y'all follow my reels. I said in a prior video, I got my first Facebook check a couple of weeks ago. It just came out of nowhere. Facebook and Instagram is connected to each other. And the reels monetization is a real thing. They giving out, they paying checks. You know what I mean? I like checks. So make sure y'all follow me on Facebook. My Facebook reels going through the roof right now. I'm sharing a lot of original content on Instagram too. Some of it you may have seen before on Snapchat and on TikTok, but I'm rearranging some things and shit. So make sure y'all go to follow me on Facebook, Jamil Lindsay, Jamil Lindsay. That's the real Gully TV on Facebook. Marcus, DJ Rent, what's up? DJ Rent, what's up? Frank, man, why y'all zap my man Frank, man? He calls me the DoorDash Don, man. Shout out to the Dashers. Anyway, I ain't pulled that out in months. But as the weather changed, I'm back on it. He said, what's up with Wallow? We're going to talk about it. I want y'all to share this live stream, though. I need each one of y'all to share. Shares are important. I think shares are more valuable than likes because if you share it to more people gonna like it. So share. He said, Wallow don't need us anymore. we gonna have a discussion about it. Yeah. But he's viral right now. And I feel that a lot of people's reactions are uncalled for. I don't think he said nothing wrong for real. I don't think he said nothing for real. But often he don't be saying nothing. he's when Wallow is online, the person that you know is Wallow, that we know is Wallow, that's a character. I don't think that's who he is in real life. I think he goes into character when he gets online and shit. I'm quite certain it's a character, and sometimes he probably overdo it a little bit sometimes. But this video is entitled "Wallow is under fire by Black Twitter right now for saying nothing," and I just want to keep it real. The whole time that he's been online, he ain't never said nothing. He's never been saying nothing. He does it. They platform is called $1 million worth of game. I don't think it's $1 million worth of game extracted from the platform, but bear with me, this ain't no diss. I think what Wallow has been selling the whole time that he's been online is enthusiasm. That's his thing. He calls himself a motivational speaker, and he's been received as such. He gets booked around the United States as a motivational speaker, but primarily I think what he's selling is enthusiasm. He talks loud, he be bouncing around and doing a bunch of theatrical shit, and with good intentions. I remember when he first started out, something that he did that caught my eye was called, he had this challenge about a job application. And this is how it went. And he had other people uploading their videos that participated in the job application challenge. And what it was this. He would say, yo, I went to go fill out an application this morning and I didn't get a call back. But guess what? Tomorrow, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna get right back out there and I'm gonna fill out another application. And he had other people making videos as well. And I thought that it was a excellent gesture, and it seemed to go viral briefly on Instagram because it was other people that was going out and filing job applications, and they weren't getting a call back. But because Wallow instigated the job application challenge, it motivated some people to keep on doing what they was doing and shit, right? He had some joints. He had some skits. This is when he was doing skits. He had some skits about, the violence. He was laying on the ground one time and he was bleeding at the mouth and he was talking about, killing your brother and shit like that. He stepped to the internet and created a lane for himself. Now there's other, let's call them influencers or motivational speakers from Philadelphia who do something similar. And I agree with some of their messages too. But Wallow, because Gully is his cousin, he was able to become high profile at an accelerated speed. And he got some paper for it. And when a person gets some money, you get a chance to see their real character. I believe that, well, I know for a fact at times he was the type of person that said things out of his mouth that would resonate with the populace. He was almost like he almost campaigned with the popular opinion. That was one of his approaches. People search for reasons to be offended. Wallow literally is one of the greatest things to happen to the community as far as online people. Super Jones, I appreciate your super chat. To piggyback what you just said though, I don't think he said anything wrong in this regard. This what do you want to call it? All of this acrimony that's being directed at him. And I see Tariq Nasheed just posted him. So I think at the root of this is the FBAs, the Foundational Black Americans. I think they at the root of this. But he didn't say anything wrong. I don't know why people picked this time to be offended when all he did was did the Wallow. He's always spoken really, really passionate. When he get on and whatever his message is, whether you agree with it or not, his delivery is always passionate. And he said, I don't give a fuck about this. And I ain't going to just support you because you're a black business and this and this and that. Fuck that. I spend my money with where the quality is at and shit. I didn't see him saying anything wrong in that regard. You feel me? Sometimes the message isn't sugar-coated, and people seem to feel that, I don't know why our people who speak any kind of way to each other become offended by people they don't know. I don't understand that part. But he said, I don't have to support a black business because it's a black business. I support quality. I agree with that. Frank, I appreciate your super chat. I agree with that. And the whole black business theme, I never stood on that. I never stood on that. I'm a business. You know what I'm saying? I'm a business. My business don't have no color. It don't. I happen to be a Negro, God Cipher Divine, but I service people from all walks of life. And I don't use I never said that. I never said that because I knew I was selling quality. So I never had to say, support this black business. I never had to say that. I never said it. Some people, they haven't built their portfolio, their branding to the point where they can stand on quality. I stand on fly shit. This is a varsity jacket, a Letterman's jacket that I designed myself by my brand, Fashion Bomb Couture. You feel me? They go to bomb right there. Peace. You know what I'm saying? And my date of birth, when my company was established, 1976. I'm wearing it and shit. you see a lot of colors because I'm a sneakerhead, and I knew that what I was selling would resonate with the sneakerheads and shit. You dig? And yeah, it's real colorful, and that's a reflection of who I am. That's what I'm selling. I'm selling my style and shit. I feel that my style is worthy of being mass produced and sold and shit. But I never ever said support this black business. Um, I don't know where that came from. Yes, I do. It might have came from the Nation of Islam or some black organization who meant well when they said that. But that don't mean sell your people just anything and expect them to buy it just because you black. And that's what Wallo was saying. I'm not gonna, I'm not with that. He said I'm not with that. And I think that's what people got offended by him saying I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? It's basically your the way you received it. And he's always jumped around and said everything passionately. And this all of this outrage about what he said, I feel that it was uncalled for. I don't think he said anything wrong. Um, I've I spend money with whoever got some quality, right? Or whoever got some dope shit. But I also make a point of spending money with people that spend money with me. I do that. We can like create our own economic cipher and shit. So, you know what I mean? Whether you black, white, or candy stripe, if you spent money with me and you selling something, I'm more than likely gonna patronize what you got going on and shit. If we do that, we'll all take money home. You know what I'm saying? But he took it upon himself to say, he said it, I won't even say he said it harshly. He gave you the Wallow delivery and somehow people became offended. This is something that I know to be the truth about the internet and about the algorithm. When it ain't no wreck going on, every week somebody's flesh is gonna get eaten. Somebody's flesh is gonna get eaten by the algorithm every week. Every week it's a new nigga whose ass is in the hot seat, right? I've been in the hot seat before. Everybody get it, right? But every week is somebody new, is some new flesh in the hot seat, and the algorithm will feast on your ass. And it seems to me that sometimes the algorithm, when they don't have no original content, they'll start wreck chasing. They'll start wreck chasing. There's only so many rappers that you can interview this newsworthy. Before you know, same with athletes, same with entertainers. Before you look around, everybody, you've seen an interview by everybody. Anybody that you could possibly be interested has been interviewed, except for Michael Jackson and the niggas that ain't here no more. But every nigga that's living, I could tell you there's some remaining interviews that are pertinent that you don't see. Grand Puba Maxwell from Brand Nubian is one of them. There's a couple of others, you dig? But for the most part, niggas get online and they rely on this shit, and they be looking for some wreck. They be looking for some wreck. They do. They be looking for some wreck, and it could become your day. The thing with Wallow is this: he talk a lot. And when you talk a lot, this is proven. It's only a matter of time before you say some dumb shit or before you offend somebody. I think that this is my personal opinion. This video is entitled "Wallow Under Fire for Saying Nothing." The whole time that he's been online, I don't think he's ever said nothing that would motivate or trigger me or nothing like that. I think he says the obvious. He often says the obvious. I remember one time there was a video that was on Instagram. I posted it. I shared it. He was talking to the rapper. I think his name is Simba, some shit like that, from the Bay Area, and he was telling him that, yeah, I be telling niggas that they not really a rapper because you ain't making no money. I didn't think that was his place to say that. I didn't think that was his place to say that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that it's his place to tell someone that they're not a rapper. I don't know who gave him the authority or why he felt it was appropriate for him to be saying that to the nigga Simba, who is one of them Bay Area entrepreneurs who built from the ground up, like La Russell and shit. It's They out there doing. I don't think that he was. I just didn't think it was appropriate. Hold on for 1 second. Can you dig it? He said, "What happened with Wallow?" Eric Murray said the problem is Gully is not educated enough to talk about economics for the black community. I already did my service to the black community by becoming successful and shit. As far as you talking about economics, I'm light years ahead of all of y'all. And I'm light years ahead of the niggas that you follow online and shit. You dig? My qualifications, you don't have to receive them and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect you to be able to comprehend science because you're not a scientist. I don't expect you to be able to comprehend mathematics because you're not a mathematician and shit. I'm both of those. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm a walking personification of success. You dig? On to the next. Like I was saying, right? Often, he'll go on rants and he just be talking and shit. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he might say some things that resonate with certain people. He put it this way. The information that he provides or the thing that he does, it resonates with a certain body of people. Everybody ain't on the same mental plane, straight like that. I'm pretty sure he's motivated some people. He's probably changed. I'm sure he probably changed some lives and shit like that. But this instance right here, he didn't do anything wrong. You dig what I'm saying? He said, Unc dropped gems on the stock market through this Trump wave. I ain't no Unc, man. The Uncs is washed up, man. I'm the dribble. Call me Big Brother Dribble Almighty, God, Cypher Divine, or the dribble. I answer to any of those and shit. I am not an Unc. The Uncs is washed up. Straight up. Straight up. He said, Wallow not wrong. He's being honest. I agree. I don't think he said anything wrong. And I'm listening to people trying to make what he said wrong. He didn't say anything wrong. He said, I don't support people just because they're a black business. Now, I seen people say that, well, when you came home from jail and you were selling shirts and shit, black people supported you with no strings attached. So maybe you shouldn't be talking like that. You dig what I'm saying? You could look at it from that angle, but the thing that he said in a nutshell was, I don't support businesses just because they're black owned and shit. I don't either and shit. I buy something from anybody, black, white, or candy stripe. I mean that. I often put money out into the atmosphere because it comes right back and shit. You know what I'm saying? For real. That's just how the world works and shit. The world is round for a reason and shit. You know what I'm saying? You put some money out into the atmosphere, it'll come back to you. The problem sometimes is scarcity and shit. Some people think that ain't no money gonna come back and shit. That's a frame of mind that people need to get out of and shit. He said, and Gil is his folks, he had to oop. It went together. They needed each other. Gilly wouldn't be in the position he's in right now without Wallow. He was barely getting by, just a bunch of Instagram followers. And Wallow came home and was doing his thing, and they put it together, and they flourished together. So it's almost like a package deal and shit. Straight like that. London, UK, what's up? Derek, I holla at you. For the rest of the day, you're going to walk around and say, yo, he kicked me out the chat for nothing. I told you my name. The way he brought up Ferrari and Porsche was coonish. Let me elaborate on that right quick, right? He said something about millions, and I'm the #1 nigga in the world, in the United States, or some shit, and got to talking about Porsches and some other shit. And that goes back to my original statement. When a person show you who they are, believe them. But it's often said that if you want to see a person's true character, give them some money and shit. So that shit that he talking, that's really who he is and shit. That's really who he is. If you offended by it, cool. If you're not, that's cool too. My man said it's coonish. I've learned that you have to um, watch the words that you use and shit like that. I've learned that myself. Like there's things that I said on this exact platform years ago that's not who I am anymore and shit. So when you put it out online, you can't take it back. So just be mindful of what you said. Um, the nigga talk a lot. He always got a bunch of shit to say. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna give a rebuttal or add some footnotes because he's viral right now. Everybody talking about it. But me personally, I don't think he said anything wrong. Our people who have a black-owned business should use what he said as motivation. Try to make everything that you're doing more proficient. You know what I'm saying? For the Muslims, it's a hadith. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said he prescribes proficiency for Muslims. Whatever you do, do it well. And that's all that Wallow was saying and shit. Some of the services provided by our people, you might go to a restaurant and the waiter is rude. That's something that need to be corrected. That's something that you might encounter at a black business. You encounter that at a white business too. You might buy some shit from a person and the customer service ain't right. A few years ago, King Erner was the first niggas that was selling CMOS on a heavyweight level. This is some years ago, like 5 years ago. He was one of the first people online pumping CMOS on a heavyweight level, right? And you started to hear about all of the people who he robbed. He wasn't sending them their moss back. That's some shit that becomes associated with a nigga business and shit. So that's all he was saying is, I'm not gonna support you just because you black owned. I spend my money with who got the quality. There's nothing wrong with that. Corey Chambers says people wasn't getting it. Yeah, King Erner scammed the fuck out of me on that CMOS. But in all reality, he scammed himself because he could have been rich off that shit. If he was serving that shit the right way, he was ahead of the curve. Like he had it before everybody. And he was online promoting before everybody. If he was serving that shit right, one customer ain't gonna do nothing but go to the next motherfucker and tell him, yo, I got it from here. He sent it's good product. He sent it to me on time. One satisfied customers equals 3 satisfied customers and shit. Word of mouth is a bad motherfucker. So you might want to be mindful of this, for real. Black don't mean that I should shop with you. You're allowed to spend your money where you want. We need service. I agree with you. I agree with you. So the outrage that's associated with what he said, I think it's unwarranted. It wasn't called for. I listened to what he said a couple of times, and the way that he talks sometimes, people probably could take it out of context, but he's always spoken passionate. And that's a character. When he get on there, yeah, I don't give a fuck, bouncing up and down and shit like that. That's a character. That's not, he didn't piss motherfuckers off to the point that people were saying that the niggas, they calling him a tether from Ethiopia. They said, Tariq Nasheed posted a picture of him and say, yo, where this nigga from? He's from North Philly. But motherfuckers in the comments like, yo, he African. Him and Gully, they Africans. They from Ethiopia, and they don't support black people for real. Oh my goodness. Wallow being influential says about the state of things as a whole. Let me rebuttal that. I see this a lot, right? There's people who were elevated to what you might view as a leadership position just because they had a lot of followers. They did. There's people who have been elevated to different positions because they had a lot of followers. There's this chick, I think her name is White Girl. She from Philly. She gained a following and was getting booked and shit. Like, she came out here to Erie and did a show out here and shit. And they booked her because she had a lot of followers. Is she funny? I don't even know if she's a comedian, but I didn't understand, the relevance in it. And you know what I'm saying? Um, Bubba Dub is a comedian. I met him in the Bay Area at the celebrity basketball game. He's right now, he's touring with a bunch of comedians. But is he funny? The Lakers is trash. Is that worthy of someone going on tour and becoming a comedian? Is that funny? It's not. He developed a following online, got a lot of followers, and people feel that they can monetize followers over actual talent and shit. That's something that you see with it's affected the music business. They'll give a record deal to a motherfucker with a bunch of followers, and the music be bullshit. Whereas you got a motherfucker who's spitting his ass off. Fire, music fire, catalog fire. He got 5,000 followers, and people feel that he's not worthy. That's what the social media thing has, it twists people's perception. For real. My man Love Us says, I saw Bubba Dub said he funny. He said, no, he's not funny. She's okay, but she catered to a lot of the rainbows. I'm starting to see a lot of that on YouTube. My man said Bubba Dub is a goofy. Bubba Dub got that whack-ass movie on Tubi. Herman Williams says, what's up with you and Zip? What you mean, what's up with us? Crazy how in society we hate each other, but when it comes to the business, we supposed to support. Wallow don't be really saying nothing, though. I think people really more entertained by him and Gilly's relationship. There's plenty of up-to-par black businesses. It's important to highlight them. I agree with you. So today, if there's a black-owned business that you deal with, why don't you post them? Why don't you tweet them? Why don't you give them a shout-out and shit? Y'all often share the bullshit. Like, y'all often share the bullshit paperwork. Somebody got killed, somebody going to jail. Shit like that becomes viral at the hands of the user, the internet, the users online and shit. So if it's somebody that you feel is worthy, we can make today shout out a Black Business Day if that's how you feel about it. The level of talent from back in the day is unmatched on all levels. You understand everyone has a run then dies off. They just capitalize off of their short runs. Rick Montano says, Wallow be given a lot of free game. Wallow just want to stun on niggas. Wallow was way more humble before the bag came, but I always believed that he felt this way. But you know what they say, money don't change folks, it's just magnifying who they really are. Wallow helps people in real life. This is definitely acceptable coming from him. I have no problem with this logic. I didn't have no problem with it either. Wallow was real who really care about the young niggas. Let me elaborate on that. He got online and he cried a couple times. Me, I don't believe that shit. I don't believe it. He from North Philly and shit. Them niggas is used to death and incarceration. He did 20 years in the penitentiary. I find it hard to believe that somebody else going to prison or somebody else get killed can bring tears from a guy who grew up in a desensitized existence that probably was more for the online community and shit like that. I felt like he was fake crying on Shannon Sharp's show. He didn't cry a couple times. He was telling Lil Durk and them, I believe. He was speaking to some of them and, crying in and shit. But like I said, I don't believe that shit. Like, I thought it was some bullshit. All that crying was part of his character and running that play. I agree with that. I don't believe that the crying was sincere. I think it was some bullshit. So you saying that he's not allowed to change? People in the comments are saying he changed when he started talking about Ferraris and, you know, Porsches and shit like that. That this is what we addressing right now. People are saying that his character seemed to change. I said that the title of this video is Wallow Under Fire for saying nothing. I felt he's never said nothing. But he be bouncing around and he goes into a character and shit and people extract something from it. But a lot of the shit that he be saying is common sense or shit that you should already be doing as a man and shit or as a woman and shit. Like, for real. Like, for real. He said, I was just about to say that. Money got him hovering. DoorDash at the door. Give me 1 second. Boom, boom, boom. I said DoorDash, Uber Eats. Common sense ain't too common in this generation. Okay. Young Thug, Little Durk, and Big U all got indicted on RICOs after being on $1 million worth of game. A lot of the things he always says is regular G talk. So he's a fake motivational speaker. I think he's a performing motivational speaker and shit. He's not like Les Brown, no shit, nothing like that. That's just my opinion and shit. A lot of people will get online. It's easy to be a part of the populace and shit. Like, very rare will he take the stance of a contrarian and shit. Like, me, I'm gonna say how I feel, regardless of how anyone else feels about it. But I don't think that's who he is. I think he's gonna more than likely say shit that everybody's gonna agree with and shit. Or he can still acknowledge his feelings. He might not be programmed to accept the program. I don't know. I don't understand what you said about what you meant about that. Alan, peace. Peace to everybody in the chat. Show me one black person that has helped gain or help them retain a business. I don't know what you mean by that. Me, I built mine from the ground up, and I advise you to do the same thing and shit. We got the same 24 hours a day, in a day. 25, if you're hustling and shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these streamers has ran plays and are playing a character. I agree. Tell Wallow to display the millionaires he said he made. I don't even think that's worthy of a conversation and shit. Like, that's his business. Wall and Eric Thomas are the same. They both yell common sense information and still mess it up. That's why they will forever have an audience. I agree. So I think this happened on, he was speaking to some kids at a university. I believe he was speaking to some young entrepreneurs or something. I think he was at somebody's school, but he was on the microphone and he was addressing a body of people. And the FBA seemed to be, they said Black Twitter. Tariq Nasheed just posted it. And again, I don't think what he said was offensive. It wasn't offensive to me anyway. He said, damn, so he fake and you realer than him? I'm confused. I'm more intelligent than him. I'm not concerned with real and shit. I'm already successful and shit. If you follow this platform, we own the stock market now and shit. That's what I chose to do with my platform. Hip hop, sports, fashion, and I've added finance and shit. Um, it ain't no comparison between he and I and shit. I stay in my own lane. I do the dribble. You know what I'm saying? I'm not liked. He's somebody who strikes me as he wants to be liked and shit. You would never see me in the same room as somebody like Big U. It makes you just ask yourself, what was he doing on y'all platform? What was he doing on y'all platform? He's not an entertainer. He's not. He's not no professional athlete. He's not. He's not a rapper. He's not. He's not a published author. He's not. He's the leader of the goddamn Crips. So do you mean well? Do you mean well to the people that's watching when you profile a nigga like that? That nigga on Rico right now for killing a young motherfucker who used to play for his football team, and they interviewed him. You dig what I'm saying? So do you have good intentions when you got involved with a nigga like that? You know what I'm saying? And not only that, did he had to go on a platform and then get Gilly robbed, right? Didn't he? Is that how it happened? It had to happen that way. I don't think he got robbed and then he went and invited him on the platform. But he got him. It's public information. He got stripped on by the 60s and shit, fucking around with that nigga, checking in. He robbed him first. He robbed him first, and then he brought him to the platform and interviewed him. Tell me that ain't how that went. Tell me that ain't how it went. He got robbed and then interviewed him after. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You joking, right? He said, do your homework. Why would I do homework about somebody like Big U? I'm the one that made a video 2 years ago, told all of y'all to be wary of the nigga. I don't need to do no homework and shit. I announced the lesson. I gave out the directive before all of this shit happened. If them niggas would have listened to what I said 2 years ago, a lot of niggas wouldn't have been getting robbed and stripped and shit. Name something good about Brother Wallow, because it sound like hate. You can suck my dick. I don't give a fuck how you feel, how this shit sound. I don't even consider them niggas and shit. I be on my plane and shit. You know what I'm saying? I be doing me. I don't even consider niggas. Anybody that I'm more intelligent than, you don't hear me acknowledge them or nothing like that. I'm just telling you the motherfucking truth and shit. Gil been sucking Big U ever since they boomed him. They not official Philly. Fendula suck a dick. You know what I'm saying? Do I like their platform? I'm not a fan of it. I don't watch $1 million worth of game. I don't. It just I'm on a different plane and shit. I'm on some other shit. I just said at the beginning of this video that shit is for people of a certain intellectual level and shit. I said that. But it wouldn't do nothing for somebody like me. I wouldn't sit there and watch them niggas. He said, they name all in your mouth. My dick all in your mouth. Gilly always bucking his eyes for them folks. He said, Gully hate and Gilly and Wallow would never make a live discussion about you ever. They don't have to discuss me. I'm already a made nigga. They too busy trying to convince people to like them and shit. We wouldn't be in the same room. long before I got on this platform today to speak about this, I've always said that it be monkeys online and shit. Them niggas is monkeys. You know what I'm saying? I ain't, you want me to sugarcoat it? He said, what's your zodiac sign? Made nigga. Gilly always meat riding. That's literally why he famous. He beef with whoever was popping. He got famous because Wayne destroyed him. You got it? You got my zodiac down? Did you write that down? Did you go get her? I've been hearing more and more people say they don't watch $1 million worth of game. Again, let's get back to the topic. The thing that he's being vilified for, I don't think he said anything wrong. Straight like that. I thought I seen Gilly on a Gully DVD back in the day. I interviewed him. He on here. Gully said they paid a non-talented extortion artist to come to their platform. Where you been? I've been in the gym. The Big U extortion story was different. Gully, I noticed something disturbing about the situation. Women got mad about it first, then all the male platforms acting like they was mad. One of the most outspoken people was, I think her last name was Lindsay. She, for real, she's on somebody's platform. I was just watching her before I got on here. She's on a platform with a male, and she seems to be outraged about it. I could believe that. Women be in their feelings and shit. She the one that made a big deal about it, but I went and listened to everything he said, and he didn't say nothing that was offensive to me. I'm not spending my money just because you black. I'm paying for good service. Same thing here. A real boss don't have time to be paying attention to what the next man is doing. Correct. The tough talk from Gil is what's most comical after getting jugged, then interviewing Eugene. All these guys rap that they are big. You whole time they terrified of the real Big U. Think people like Big U need to be excommunicated. Well, he's excommunicated now. The government excommunicated him and shit. But niggas be scared, man. Niggas be scared. That's it. That's it. You got niggas who be scared. You got niggas to be dick riders, and you get what's coming to you. You know that's how you plan and shit. An interview after a robbery is insane work. They shouldn't have interviewed him to begin. Why would you interview him? What's his story? He don't have a story. He's just a hoodlum. He's a hoodlum whose name is associated with probably Nipsey Hussle's death. Them niggas do not like niggas from the East Coast. When you seen niggas on camera with him, that's dick riding. He don't like niggas from the East Coast. They don't like niggas from the East Coast. They don't. They ain't got nothing good to say about niggas from the East Coast when they amongst themselves and shit. In the same room after getting robbed, much less as an interview. He said the Suge Knight effect. I don't think Big U was in Suge Knight's league and shit. Suge Knight, in my opinion, he has some Dawn traits about him and shit. I don't know. It could have been me buying the Source magazine, seeing him with the big cigar and shit with the big diamonds in his ear and shit like that. I don't know. It was something. I like his story and shit. You know what I'm saying? The music business was often dominated by Caucasians and shit. They the ones that was doing the gangster shit. Suge was one of the first ones that, no, he wasn't. It was a guy named Gene something. But Suge came along and he got on his gangster shit. They told Suge Ain't Nothing But a G Thing wasn't a hit record. They did. They told him that. And he went off and made history and shit. Like, I like Suge's style in many regards. Him making niggas drink piss and all of that. Some sucker shit, some gorilla shit he was on. But I don't think Suge and Big U was the same caliber of nigga and shit. Suge was more polished. I agree. Suge just blew it and played himself. Big U was a dumb gooch type nigga, no real smarts. I agree. I agree with that. Anyway, that's all I got, man. I just had to come through here and bring this breaking news to the table and let y'all know that there's nothing to be offended by what he said and shit. People need to get their dribble right. I've been saying that the whole time and shit. The thing about getting your dribble right is that it's an ongoing struggle and shit. You got to add disciplines and shit. There's always room for improvement. And that's all he was saying, that black businesses need to get their shit together. And again, I don't know why people was offended by that. Everybody in here gonna buy what they feel is quality with their money, what they feel is affordable with their money, despite whoever the proprietor is and shit. You can have a white business and a black business next door to each other, selling the same shit. It's up to whoever the consumer is. It's up to, it's basically on your. It's left up to the consumer for real. Niggas need to get on the level though. So that's what I think Wallow was saying. Niggas need to get on the level and stop expecting people to support them just because they're a black-owned business. What's the top 3 stocks you buying right now? Nvidia, Amazon, and Google. I will watch from the beginning. Anyway, y'all subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Facebook. My name is Jamil Lindsay, man. I just launched a campaign, man. I unleashed a bunch of dope reels and shit that's only gonna be available on Facebook. Jamil Lindsay. That's the Real Gully TV on Facebook. JAMILLINDSEY. You'll find me over there. Twitter, I'm Gully TV1. Instagram at I am Gully TV_. I got work to do. Y'all have a great afternoon. Peace.